Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
We've been a bit busy since the last video where we left our resurrection of a guitar project. We've had Christmas in between, which has meant that Joseph is now the proud owner of a Marshall practice amplifier, which is where he's been putting a lot of his attention over the last week or two. However, we've now got a weekend spare, so we're going to spend some time on the next bit of our guitar project, and this will involve adding colour. Okay, cool. What we're going to do first is we're just going to show you around where we are exactly now with the guitar. As you remember, we'd sanded a lot of it down. We'd not done anything with the neck and the headstock yet, and we'd gutted it. We'd taken all the electronics and everything out. So here's what she looks like now. If I hold her up, you can see the body still pretty much as she was. I'll probably put some stills in a minute just to give you a proper view of this. But interestingly as well, now we have a neck and a headstock. Ooh, science fiction effects. And also the front of the headstock, which actually has come up really nice. I'm not quite sure what was going on there when they made it, but that looks absolutely beautiful. We've been up to the local Woodcraft Centre, haven't we, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Had a nice chat to the guys up there who were very helpful. And we've purchased some burnt orange wood dye that we're going to use on the side and the back. See what impact that has, and I think we're also going to put it on the neck, aren't we, Joe?
Yeah.
Try and mix that in, and then we've got some tung oil that we're then going to use as a finish on that. The front, we're still thinking about. Joe would really like some kind of light sunburst, so we're going to see how the water-based wood dye works, whether that works well, and maybe try a burst with that, or if not, we're going to go back to the drawing board. We've seen a few videos of people using oil paints as a basis for a sunburst, and they look really cool finish wise, so we might try that. But as you've seen through the whole of this project, it's going to be a bit of trial and error, so I'll probably put some pictures next of what the guitar looks like now, and then we're going to get on with some dyeing. Yeah. Joe's just going to start applying the stain now, and nice big long strokes, Joe, I think, from one side of the guitar to the other. That's it, and we'll see what the colour comes out. Obviously it's going to be different on the sides and on the back, so we'll see how we go on in a minute. Okay folks, that's the first stain applied, the first coat of stain applied, and as you can see, it's given us quite patchy results. I think particularly on the back of the guitar, where the sander had gone just that little bit deeper through the fairly thin veneer on the back, that's holding an awful lot more of the dye than the rest of the finish, which is a bit annoying. We've also discovered that the binding, which we'd kind of hoped wouldn't soak up the stain, is taking some of the stain, and just the ply on the side again, it's taking different stain differently, which is giving a pretty patchy coverage at the moment. We're going to see how we go on still. I'm going to try and take some steel wool and just take bits off by bits off, and then put some more on and see if we can get a more even coverage. Alright, see you later. Okay, this is the following day and more stain has been applied. Next, still looking not too bad, to be fair. The back of the body, I've worked hard putting more and more of the wood dye on. As you can see, it's made it look slightly darker in the lighter areas, but not really done a great deal to change how the back looks. I'm going to keep going with this. I'm going to keep adding more dye and potentially steel wool in it again, just to see if we can get any more. The sides particularly, obviously the different levels of plywood and the amount that's been taken off by the sander just isn't giving anything like the finish we would have hoped for. I think this guitar is going to end up being not one of the most beautiful you've ever seen. But still, we'll see how she goes. We'll see how she plays once we've put some stuff inside her. See how she goes on the front as well. See if Joseph can get his way and get us some kind of burst going on there. Very much a lesson here. We didn't know how thick the veneer was on the back of the guitar, so didn't worry too much about sanding. But quite clearly, the veneer was fairly thin. So those of you who are in the process of sanding down your kit guitars before you finish them, just make sure you remember that instruction about not going through the veneer. Actually, in the areas where the veneer stayed nicely, the burnt orange dye has really brought out the grain really nicely. It's just obviously, it looks like it's been through a rather bloody fight at the moment, but still. Okay guys, so as you can see, we've been putting lots of effort into the back and the neck. The neck's now had some tung oil applied to it, in fact several coats of tung oil, and it's starting to get quite a nice shine and feeling really smooth. The back slowly is getting a little bit different, but we're going to keep working on that, aren't we, Joe, and see where we go from there. The next time you see us, we'll have a video for the front. But until then, what do we say, dear? Bye!